Do you think AI is going to take a DJ's job at some point?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, when I get on Spotify and it starts talking to me like it's
That's a
my
little
DJ,
creepy.
I'm not happy
And
about it.
he has a New York
And you
accent.
can't turn that off for some reason.
I mean, it's interesting because AI can only create based on what it's inputted. But at some point, there's going to be a change. Like there's a name for it, but AI is going to start creating its own stuff.
I'm ready. I want AI to take over. I want it to take the job of all the DJs that are taking my job. I'm ready for an exodus.
AI can't wear a
of
Speedo, bro.
What's happening?
Well, all right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
All right. We ready?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Let's go, baby. Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Two very special guests, out of town edition. We're on the set. We're in the house. Dojo, Sound Dojo gods, Interloop, Jeremy Knight.
Yeah.
My boy flew all the way in from Vegas.
Yeah.
We're in Houston, by the
Vegas
way.
to Houston, yeah. We're here. I love Houston.
Club Killer's own,
Yep.
DJ DeVille,
Yeah, man. It's good to rock with you today.
Edit God.
Yep. Hey, I do what I can, you know.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so you're rocking in Houston this weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Yep. So it's obviously coming in a little early. I was just talking with you guys earlier. The fact that I'm actually able to relax in one city for 3 days is amazing. You can actually enjoy the city, enjoy making more kinds of content like this. This is amazing, just sitting down with you guys, and then obviously taking a little more time to prep your set before you go on for each gig. You kind of actually relax instead of just panicking from the airport, panicking from the hotel to the gig, and then finally being able to decompress. So this is great. I'm really enjoying this.
Minus the heat.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even mind it. I'm not even sweating right now, so I still got the Florida blood.
Makes
apparently.
one of us.
We got the fans going.
Yeah,
It's the best we
the
could do.
AC is debatable right now, but
The power
fan,
is
the
a
air
little
movement's
sketchy
good.
the past few days.
There
The
was
power's
a-
back on.
There was a
but
tornado. I'm not mad at you guys. I mean, the city is still operating, which is shocking.
You went through a
Streetlights are
land
going.
hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we what actually happened? Walk us through real quick. What happened?
I left work and they had sent out a little email hey, there's a severe thunderstorm tonight, so you might want to leave work early and just chill at the house. And pull up at the house, and I'm like, the sky's kind of green and yellow and it's eerily quiet, and then out of nowhere it just turns black, and then 80, 100, I don't know, 120 mile an hour winds.
It was how does that even happen? I mean, you guys are used to your fair share of bad weather with the rain, especially. I've seen the flooding, but I can't even imagine, because living in Florida as long as I did, I only saw one hurricane my entire life.
Yeah.
And this was way worse than that.
Yeah, it just happened really quick, and so we just chilled in the garage, sat in the car, and waited it out, and then
That's crazy.
power was gone, and we were all wondering when the power is going to come back. And
Well, I will say you guys bounced back pretty quick, because everything seems pretty normal from driving around so far. So
that's one thing about Houston. We're a very resilient city.
that's great.
I think the Astros played the same. They just played through the storm.
What?
They would just close the roof. We'll just play
my
through
God.
it,
Yeah, just go.
and we won.
Well, that's awesome.
Won
Big
that
dubs. Big dubs. You guys are the holders of the World Series still, no? Or was that 2 years ago?
That was a couple years ago.
Okay. I'm okay. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here for that. That was exciting.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I remember being in my Speedo watching the game because it was Halloween at Bottle Blonde. I was Michael Phelps. Just
Wait,
in
was
my
that bottle blonde or was that green light?
Well, I did it for the whole weekend. That was my costume. So,
So did you rock the gold medals? You had to have the gold medals on.
Yeah, I had a gold medal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had some goggles on my head.
Nice.
American flag Speedo.
Didn't they stop you at the door at green light? Hey, what do you can't come in like that? And you're like, oh, I'm DJ.
No, I came in fully clothed, and then I went in the bathroom and changed, and I'm in the DJ booth setting up my computer, hooking Serato up, all this shit, and the security comes up to me. He's like, bro, you can't be in here like that. I was like, I'm DJing. And he was like, I got to talk to the manager. He's like, I got to ask someone. I need to
You're
prove
above
him.
dress code, bro. You're the DJ. Dress code does not apply.
That's one of the biggest perks of being a DJ,
Absolutely.
to be honest, I think.
Yeah,
Man.
you kind of set the dress.
I'm trying to think.
trend.
I don't even know the riskiest thing I've ever worn DJing. I mean, I could probably pull off a Michael Phelps because I'm the same body type, but I don't have any muscles to flex.
I think Zach's got us beat
Yeah.
in all aspects of craziest outfit.
Yeah, it was.
What, so what else have you done that's crazy like that? Like what other crazy costumes have you done?
I think Speedo is probably the craziest, I guess. Just the most ridiculous. I'd call it more ridiculous.
What about
than crazy.
like legendary? Like what other kind of crazy, like just insane things that?
I
were
mean, I
super
used to
memorable?
rock. I had this hat from Spencer's that was like a hat, and then it had a huge dick coming off the top of it, and there was like a little fish line right here that
Okay,
you
that's
could
pretty
pull
memorable.
to make it go like
So
this.
you could actually make it flop around.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was
that's
pretty tight.
So have you? You should try the combo. Do both at the same time.
Yeah, but then what would I be like? What would the costume be?
Dickopotamus? I don't know.
Yeah, a spermade,
Spermade. There you go. See, you can even write that on your chest.
something like that. Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But was it well received? Was the costume well received?
Which one? The dick?
No, sorry, the Speedo with the goggles.
Define well received. Like, did people get it?
So did the ladies like it?
They were into it. They were into it. A couple of them were a little terrified, I think, a little scared.
Fair enough.
It definitely scared a few women away, but the ones that I was looking to attract they were ready to go.
Oh, outstanding. Did you get like the tips like a Chippendales dancer
There you go.
going all up in there?
No. The DJ booth at Greenlight's tiny. You're on like a little stage.
Oh, see, there's not really enough room to.
You can't
finesse
even
that.
have people in the booth, right? I don't even think.
Were you there before they built it out?
I think so,
Because
yeah.
it used to just be a Red Bull booth, and it was like you had to sometimes like hold your laptop from falling over.
Yes, that's what I was on.
Okay, they kind of built it out a little bit, but it's still like very immersed in the crowd, which is
okay.
fun,
Yeah, the boiler room style.
Yeah,
Pretty much,
Wearing
yeah,
a
pretty
Speedo
much.
is definitely a boiler room outfit.
Well, yeah.
That fits the vibe.
And we were talking about this earlier. Boiler Room is its own entity. They branded and have owned that name, but people are taking that name as if it represents that style of party. They'll throw a party where the DJ booth's in the middle of the room surrounded by people and call it a boiler room party.
Right.
Which is kind of insane, right?
Well, it's like Kleenex with tissues. It's literally what's happening. Because
Yeah.
we were talking about this before. Is I really think that boiler room style parties are going to be the trend for the next 4 to 5 years. That's just, especially with the right venues that actually can handle it. I think that's going to be the default latest party you're going to go to is a boiler room party.
So if it's not called a boiler room because that's what they branded it as, then it's just a 360 view.
And
Party
that
is
brings
what
up
it
an
should be
interesting
called, right?
legal.
Not boiler room.
Like, I wonder if they're going to start suing.
That's
Like-
what I was thinking, because I'm seeing people posting like boiler room party, we're throwing our own boiler room party, and I'm like, that is kind of false advertising, right? Because
Right.
if you saw that and you were like, oh, I've always wanted to go to boiler room, I'm going to go to this, and then it's
Well,
not like it.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with like a Super Bowl party. If it's not officially licensed Super Bowl party, you have to say it's a big game party. That way there's no confusion. And I think that's what's going to end up happening as this trend continues because they have to protect their own brand.
But what are they going to call it? If you can't call it a boiler room, because that gets the message across
Surround
immediately.
sound.
360 view.
360 view.
I think that's what they're calling it at that spot in Park City.
I mean, I think what's going to, necessity is the mother of invention. So when people start getting cease and desists on that branding, it'll force some very clever monikers. So something will change, or somebody will come up with a great way to travel. The traveling parties are big now too. Like, so somebody comes up with a traveling boiler room party, they'll take over.
That's what the market's looking for right now.
I think so. I really.
What kind of music though? Because I feel like all the traveling parties that I'm seeing, at least, it's like the R&B stuff. It's like fun sing along, throwbacks.
Well,
old
Alex
school.
Dreams. Like, so at the Yoast, the Hello Kitty party, that there's one particular promoter. She's really big on TikTok, and she brings out like a gang of girls that all wear the Neon Kitty stuff, and they're crushing it. And that's all like hardcore techno. That's like hard rave, hard dance. Like,
Really?
it's like 140 BPM plus. And the great thing about a traveling party is you do whatever you want. Or like the Shrek rave. You ever heard of the Shrek rave?
Yeah.
No.
So that's another one too. I don't know. I think it's big room, but it's a festival and it's all Shrek style. So you can, when you have that kind of control of your audience and it has that level of draw, you decide what kind of music you want.
And speaking of traveling parties, what are we doing tonight? We got Mixed Signals
That's right.
at Bauhaus.
The #1 traveling party in the state of Texas,
There you
baby.
go.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for those
I'm
that don't
excited.
know, what's it all about?
It's just house music. Me and the No Good Boys, we started it. Just really looking to have a good time. We're all burnt out from DJing in the clubs and having to play a bunch of shit we didn't want to play. And we were like,
You
let's
don't
just
say.
throw our own party. And we started Mixed Signals. We were doing it at their warehouse space at the back of their studio.
Oh yeah.
Then we started doing it at Todo Santos. Is that place still around these days?
It still is. It's under different management, as they put it. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I see.
But yeah.
R.I.P.
But then we took it to Austin.
Yeah.
Good showing. in
Kingdom was
Austin.
dope.
Yeah. That was a pretty good litmus test. Like,
Dope.
is this a good traveling party? Yes, it is.
That was a good time. Yeah, I mean, we did it sort of. Not. I think we went to Chicago and did Hush before it was like officially Mixed Signals, but we did what we do over there, and it was a good time.
So with the dynamics, so obviously you have a following that's knows you for open format DJing. So when you said this is all house.
All house.
All house. So do you get some confusion with your following, or do you just get a fresh audience, like all new people? Did you get a whole new following from that? How'd that impact your normal routine?
I think that I don't really see that type of thing. Like I don't have people coming out and that are mad like, oh, you're not playing hip hop like I'm used to you playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean,
yeah.
like I think the crowd is this new crowd comes in like that. It's the post millennial crowd, the younger like generation whatever. I think they're way more open minded even to oldies because TikTok. I think I can really thank TikTok for that. Like people know about Fleetwood Mac that are 19 years old, and that's a beautiful thing. I really, as a DJ, I'm so happy that I can throw in an old school jam to a super young audience and they get it. They know what's going on. I don't know. That's just my personal perception.
And I bet the artists love it too.
Oh yeah,
They're getting tons of plays all
getting
over
checks.
again.
Like the Ocean Spray guy. He made Fleetwood Mac $8 million on that one TikTok.
Oh, the dog face or whatever with his board
and
cruising.
Made him $8 million in royalties just off that one TikTok. So I mean, those checks are rolling in. You gotta love it.
Jeez, yeah, that's lit. Well, I want to ask you about traveling DJing because you did that for a long time, right? You were traveling like every weekend.
I've been traveling since consistently since 2009. And you know, I noticed that my busiest times for my brand are usually spring and the fall. That's when I travel the most. And then summertime I try to stay local, you know, like especially like being in Florida, there's just a lot of stuff to do locally. But now that I'm back in Vegas, I'm doing a lot more corporate. But you know, I try to balance it out. I like to travel at least a couple times a month. But so I was just trying to set the stage. But what was your question?
Like the market for traveling DJs at the moment, I feel like it's in a lull right now, right? Like there was kind of a boom, maybe like 2010 to 2015 or something like that. Maybe give or take a few years, right? Or
Sure.
wrong?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I would actually equate it to the Vegas index. So if you notice what you just said, that exact time frame is when every single casino was booking $20,000 to $200,000 DJs every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's not the case there anymore either. Like you're only getting Tiesto, Steve Aoki, Diplo, the biggest of the big names. And I think that is a direct parallel with what's going on with traveling DJs in the, you know, the standard professional market. Because I've been very blessed to be as consistent as I have been with my content. So I've also been consistent with getting outreach for bookings in general. And just I will say hard work pays off. If you're a flash in the pan or a trend follower, yeah, the lull is going to hurt you pretty hard. But if you have a great network, and you know, I've been DJing for 25 years. So if you have a great network, great relationships, and you stay consistent with your work ethic, you're going to stay working, period. Because you're always going to stay at the top of the totem pole, even when the bottom of the totem pole gets real dusty and gets cut off. there's always going to be a market and demand for DJs, really good DJs. I mean, that will always be a fact. It's just the difference is when there is a lull, that means the people that are kind of getting in because there's just so much demand. Yeah, it's going to fall off. It's going to go in waves for sure.
And obviously too, COVID impacted greatly the traveling DJ. I remember, when we were at Bell and we were booking DJs consistently on a monthly basis. Then after COVID, it was like, well, let's chill on that. Let's just book all local. Like it kind of impacted it, and I think we're still seeing sort of the effect and the side effect of that.
Well, and also as a talent booker, your list gets shorter, but you still have a list, right? And it may not be as often.
Right.
But you're going to have those key players when it was really popping and you were booking all the time. In a way, you can look at it as like a job interview. When the times are great, as a DJ that never had a chance to, maybe travel as often, when those times get good, you got to look at that opportunity as this is your chance to showcase, so you are on that short list when times get tough.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so you got to look at it that way too. 100%.
Yeah. I was talking with Dolo yesterday, and he was saying he thinks that it's going to come back soon because we've been, it's been gone for a minute now since COVID, really. And it's mostly residents. Places are just kind of keeping their residents, and he thinks that they're going to start to get bored with hey, we've had you here for this long. You've been doing the same thing, blah, 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 this and that. Let's switch it up a bit. And that's going to sort of open the doors to start bringing more guys from out of town in that are like the real open format DJs, not just, DJ Tiesto or whatever it is, like some draw. It's mostly, the clubs are mostly booking like hip hop artists right now.
Yeah.
The EDM shit's dead.
Well, it's interesting because what I'm noticing too is like this is what I started doing. Like I would say maybe 6-7 years ago, I stopped doing weekly residencies. I do monthlies and quarterlies only. So then that way you have something to look forward to, the club has something to look forward to, and no one gets tired of anybody. Because like this, for example, Kelvin Harris at Omnia. You know how many times I heard like the staff go like, "Oh, it's Kelvin Harris again." Like they just take it for granted because they know the music he's going to play, they know the routine he's going to play, and he's $1 million DJ, and they're still tired of him. It's so what's going to happen if you're at the same place once or twice a week? I know DJs that play the same place 3 or 4 times in a week. Exhaustion's going to happen on both sides regardless. So I think doing the monthlies and the quarterlies is like the smartest thing you can do as a DJ if you have enough places to play. Mm-hmm. If you have that option, exercise that option. 100%.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I think we're seeing that impact of like bringing traveling DJs back, like with this weekend right here. The places that we book at where, hey, can you guys bring us somebody that's not local? Like it's a Memorial Day weekend. Let's blow it up. So
no, it's awesome, and I appreciate being here. And how long have we been working together now? It's been 8 years.
2006, 17, 18,
yeah,
something like that.
Time flies, man. But yeah, it's been about 8 years. So in that time, that's the other thing too. Is I really appreciate as you get older as a DJ, your network and your legacy continues to frond outward because the people that you worked with that were maybe a manager or a club owner at one place end up going somewhere else, getting promoted, going to the next level, and then they kind of just honorarily take you with them. Because that's what happens is businesses evolve, people get more experience, they want to take their key players with them that made them look good at the first spot and the second spot and the third spot. So that's another good reason as you mature as a DJ, holding on to those relationships is so important.
Your network is your net worth, huh?
Absolutely.
That's what they say. Wise man once said.
That's the wisest thing. That's the wisest thing for sure.
So how did you and the Club Killers get together? How'd that happen?
Oh man, so that was kind of dramatic actually. So so for some people that don't know me pre-Club Killers, I was on Crooklyn Clan from 2007 until 2014, and obviously, I was doing really well on there. Like, there's a lot of competition on there. There's a lot of homies that are still doing it to this day. I will say this: everybody that was on Crack for DJs in Crooklyn Clan, majority of them that were the star players are all still doing it. We're all still doing it. Like Scooter, Diggs, G-Breaker, Anthem Kings. Who was that?
Jake Reno.
Yeah, he's still doing it. Like all these guys, like we're all still here. It was such a great place for all of us to kind of start out. And so obviously we all went from Crack for DJs. Then we all graduated to Crooklyn Clan, and we were all on there for years. And you know, there was kind of like some trends were changing. People didn't want to pay per song anymore, and obviously record pools really started.
Who broke that trend?
Well, record pools just in general getting hotter, like because there's more of them and more quality content on those record pools, because they were kind of just an essential resource when they first started out. Like, you know, DJ City, they posted some stuff here and there that were custom edits, but that was the place where you went to get your just original content, like, because they went from selling records to a record pool. So that was a novel concept. So it was just cool to get your MP3s from a reliable source other than LimeWire and Napster. So, you know, that trend really changed fast. And then, you know, Crooklyn Clan set the tone for boutique edits. And that was the only place to go, like during the AM era. Like that's where he got the majority of his cool party breaks and stuff like that. And, you know, that's where like guys like Discotheque blew up. And, you know, we kind of all followed that trend. Again, I really looked up to Discotheque with Joe Maz because he was from Minneapolis and I was from Wisconsin. So he was like, he was like the guy I wanted to be like, because he's killing it. You know, he's getting all the superstar DJs playing his edits. So he was really kind of like my idol, especially for being from the Midwest. And so I started making edits. And, you know, DJ City posted a handful that I made. And obviously doing really well on Crooklyn Clan, got the attention of some other people, and Alex Dreams was one of those people. He was also on Crack for DJs, coincidentally, but then he decided to open up his own website. So he was kind of just like, apparently just watching me in the background, because, you know, he's a consistency guy too. Like, you know, he's not just going to reach out to anybody if you only made edits for a month. You know, I was making edits for 6-7 years at this point consistently. So he knew I could handle the workload that he was going to, you know, introduce to me. Like, hey, would you like to do this on my website? So we tested the waters. We put like, I don't know, 10 of my Crooklyn edits on Club Killers, and Scissorhands calls me up. He's like, hey bro, when those edits come off of Club Killers, I'll put your account back up on Crooklyn Clan. And I go to the website, my account's gone. Like all my edits are gone. He just deleted it temporarily. So he strong-armed me. He's like, hey man, you take that shit off. It's over with. Like, you know, you can't be on Club Killers and Crooklyn Clan at the same time. You can't double dip like that. I'm like, all right. So that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I don't think I've ever told this story publicly, by the way. So I was like, all right, yeah. So you got the exclusive on that one.
Hell yeah.
But so I kind of got shoved in the corner. I was like, damn, I don't know what to do right now. So I told Alex. He's like, oh man, don't worry about it. We'll just delete him. And I just kind of went about my business, business as usual for a while.
So you're back on Crooklyn.
I'm back on Crooklyn only. And so, you know, I was just plugging along, doing my thing. And so then all of a sudden, some announcements start happening. People are leaving Crooklyn Clan. People are just jumping off the ship, going elsewhere. I think it was obviously Discotheque was the first one to leave because they just, you know, they wanted to do their own thing independently and they had their own business model and plan. Crooklyn didn't fit the plan, and they left on amicable terms as far as I know. But then, you know, I think it was Beatbreaker left, and then I left, and then Scooter and Diggs left. We all kind of left within a 6-month span. And things got, you know, so we all went to individual record pools.
Yeah.
That was the new trend. So that was in 2014.
So at this time, were record pools getting savvy and figuring out, like, all right, we got to pay these guys. They're not getting paid for their single edits anymore. People aren't buying single edits. They're subscribing to our site.
Right.
But now we want to have exclusive guys making edits for us, so we'll pay them whatever.
Yeah. And so we all made our own individual deals. And, you know, without getting into the money factor, my quota was, you know, make 2 or 3 edits a week. I already knew I could handle that because I was doing it on Crooklyn Clan all day.
Yeah.
So that was effortless for me. But the dramatic part for me was I just moved to China. So I was making edits in my bedroom in China trying to keep up with this workload. So I'm in Shanghai just doing my thing, trying to keep up with this workload, trying to keep Alex happy because he put the ladder out there for me to jump up onto the brand. And I'm like, okay, so we co-branded it. Really, you know, it wasn't just me, obviously. All these guys were talking about, it was a co-brand effort because we kind of had like loyalty followings and fans that follow you to those respective record pools. So it's co-elevating the brand and it's teamwork. But you have to be consistent for it to work because you have to have new deliveries every single week for people to, justify logging in. Because I will tell you, being in the record pool industry, there's a lot of DJs that don't log onto their account for weeks at a time, and they just grab as much as they can in that short amount of time and go on. Everybody has a different way of downloading, but it really does incentivize you if you do like a particular editor. I want to see what they made this week because I know I want to play their stuff if it fits my vibe. So that's a good incentivization. It works. So, it really was, a change of pace for me because, on Crooklyn Clan, there was highs and lows and then all of a sudden you're just kind of averaging out versus as far as your personal income is concerned in that category. But it's cool, man. Like it's for me, I mean, I've been with Club Killers almost exactly 10 years as of June 1st.
That's
10
awesome.
years in
Wow.
June 1st.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's been crazy, man. Like,
Y'all doing anything special?
I want to get a plaque. I have a 5-year plaque. I want to get the 10-year.
He's got to get you like a Terror Squad chain.
Honestly, that'd be fire. The Club Killers iced out.
Yeah.
This medallion.
Jay Valentino's got one, the little
He
one
does.
I've seen, right?
He does. And actually, he got us some really nice ones from that same jeweler. We had like just the gold plated ones. It was fire. Like they were really good. I wore that thing out.
Sick.
Yeah. But yeah, I should get a Terror Squad one, like a 40-inch chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just
That'd be sick.
let it swang.
The Party with Strategy podcast has a brand new sponsor. Make sure you guys go check out Rendezvous Limousine Services for any of your travel needs around the Midwest. It's the best you can get, top notch. Let's be honest, everyone's a little sick of buying Ubers, getting charged for Uber X's like they're black cars, and the market's just not what it used to be. You might as well go with your best bet, Rendezvous Limo Service. They got party buses, they got Sprinter vans, they got Escalades, they got Navigators. Only the best of the best. Make sure you check out Rendezvous Limousine. You can find them on Instagram at RNDZ Limo or their website, Rendezvous Limousine. If you're grammatically challenged like myself, Rendezvous is RENDEZVOUS. And we might as well do limousine as well. LIMOUSINE. Rendezvous Limousine, best you can get anywhere you want to go in the Midwest. Airport pickups, drop-offs, party buses, just going to see a friend. Do it in style. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching.
Okay, so that actually, I get why kids want to do stuff,
Yeah.
but what makes a 50-year-old man or woman go,
Yeah.
hey, I want to be a DJ?
So we have this lady. She's like, I think she's in her late 40s, and I asked her that same question. I'm like, what is it that drew you to come to the school and take the beginner course? She's like, oh, I just see so many people on social media doing it, and it just was a bucket list item for me. I just want to learn. I want to see if I can do it, and
That's interesting.
and
Did she do the wiki motion? Like, I want to learn how to wiki. That's what everybody, like, hey, I want to think about doing that. And they give me the wiki. I'm like,
the scratch.
is that what you think of me? Is that what you think of me? I'm a wiki guy.
Yeah, I want to learn how to make a mashup or do a mashup live.
I mean, that is cool. I mean, so are you utilizing stems? Are you teaching stems in the course already? Like,
Yeah, we teach stems in the advanced course.
Yeah.
The beginner course is mostly just first hardware, then we teach them software, then we kind of touch on the music theory aspect, counting beats, beat matching. We dabble in phrasing, teach them about the effect.
I think phrasing is like the biggest
Phrasing
thing.
is something that you just continuously have to learn.
Yeah,
Tired.
because you have to memorize your songs and obviously know. But I mean, I want to ask you both. It's like, are
Yeah.
you utilizing stems live as a DJ?
When I play on a laptop, when I play with Serato, I definitely use stems.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about it? Since it's been out for a while now, are you using?
I started late for sure. I was late to the game, but I really enjoy it now for sure. Yeah.
See, I'm not. I've used it like 6 times.
What kind of Mac are you running?
So I'm using an M1
Okay, then
Ultra or Max or whatever.
I mean, that should.
But
that
so
should
I'm
handle
going to
it.
say something really snobby right now is so I collect actual stems from actual sessions. So the way I look at it is like a nice Bordeaux versus a box wine. You know what I'm saying? Like they both get the job done, but one tastes a hell of a lot better. And that it's like when you have the actual Michael Jackson stem, it's something special about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now since record labels aren't releasing those utilities anymore, this is a perfect time for this technology. It's just I hope it keeps getting better, and it will, because the algorithms keep getting more and more intelligent. But I just can't stand it when you're listening to something and all of a sudden it just sounds like a crystallized mess of artifacts, and you can't. It doesn't have that richness of the real vocal. I mean, that's just me being like a studio nerd, but it is like I hope it gets better faster. I really do.
Well, it's nice about it is you can map it out to a pad. And then you can have it on the pad, and you can echo out the vocals, or you can like bring them out, bring them back in. You can go instant instrumental, or,
So do you guys have like the acapella out edits too? Do you ever download those? Because that was always something I always like. See, I'm still on those routines, so that's another reason I haven't found the need for the stems for the most part so far, because I already have routines with the original acapella outs, for example, or ins. I'm really having a hard time sinking into the luxury of it, I guess.
It's definitely not as, like you said, it's definitely not as crisp. But it is. I mean, it gets the job done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
and it's I think it's pretty powerful. Like the direction that it's heading. Like it's definitely drawing some attention. People, like when I first heard about it, our lead instructor here, DJ Gons, he's a Serato. He's linked with Serato. He's on the Wall of Fame. And he was like starting to bring it up to the surface, like, hey, you got to check this out. You got to check this out, doing like a workshop on it. And that's when I was like, this is pretty cool. Kind of want to use it in a set and see if.
I mean, it's incredible. It's kind of like voodoo. If you think about it,
it is.
It's like, how is this even? It's crazy how certain algorithms, because there's like phonicmind.com, then there's like ALAL.com, and those are online versions. So it's interesting. Like you can bounce around to different algorithms for each song, and one's better than another at pulling out an acapella.
Yeah.
So you have to bounce around. You have to have different tools for different songs, but just the fact that you can hit a button now, like was it the FLX10?
The FLX10
has the button.
The button,
make it happen, which is. I heard I don't know if this is true or not, but the next generation of CDJ, the pro level stuff, is going to have them dedicated in there as well. So we'll see.
Hopefully, and then you'd be able to do it with just like
the pro level
record
gear.
Box, like USB sticks.
Yeah, they're coming after it. Man. So it's coming fast, and because like a CDJ 3000 is essentially a laptop. It's got that much horsepower.
Yeah.
So it's getting kind of crazy when you have a laptop, 4 CDJs, and like a S11, you got waveforms.
Now it's 6 CDJs in the V10.
Oh man, I mean it's cool, but I just need 2 decks, man.
I saw a video. It was I think it was Gordo had at his Tarok party or whatever, and he had the 6 CDJs, the V10, but then like just his phone resting on the 6th CDJ.
And that's
what do you need that many?
I mean, I'm really
Who
starting to
uses
think
6 CDJs?
It's the phone charger.
There you go.
Oh, they put a phone charger in it.
Oh, you just plug your.
Oh yeah, I know.
into the
It'd be
USB
cool if they
port.
put like the Qi one right inside the deck, so you can put your right on side. Hey, Pioneer,
the
what's up?
magnetic one,
Yeah, I'll take the patent on that.
like a stairmaster.
How many CDJs
So
could you use at a time? Have you used?
Well, I'm convinced that they only do that because, like, for the DJs that just do an iPod premix and they pop it in, it makes them look busy while they're on a stage at a festival. So it looks like they're touching buttons and doing things. I'm pretty sure that's what Pioneer's just doing them a solid. Like, hey, we'll give you 6 decks to make you look really busy, and then people won't ever question your authority as a DJ.
Yeah. How many CDJs does Grimes need, you think?
She needs 1. And well, she just needs a mixer and a premix. From now on, whoever's managing Grimes, make her a premix. There's nothing wrong with it. We all know festival DJs do that for the most part. I admire. And here's the thing: after all this Grimes aftermath, we got to give her some props for being a new DJ and jumping out there, because that's a big festival. That's nerve-wracking as it is. Like I did one big festival, raw dogged it MP3 to MP3. I didn't even have a record box scanned. I was petrified. I'm a vet. I was petrified. She's a brand new DJ and she still had the cojones to go do it.
Yeah.
So I got it, despite as much as she was roasted, respect to that. But just Grimes, do a premix from now on. It'll be a lot better. A lot more fun.
How did her second week go? Nobody talks about that, or do they?
Well, maybe she got a premix because it didn't make the news. She wasn't screaming as much.
I feel like her second week probably went better.
I would hope so.
Has
I would
anyone checked it
imagine.
out?
Maybe she got a new sound manager, because she said she paid someone to put her set together. And then
that's the classic, like when you analyze your tracks, 68 to 135 is kind of standard, but you probably did like
the parameters were off.
Whatever.
Because she was playing drum and
150.
bass and hard style and stuff, and it drives me nuts because it's like it's halftime or double time, And then the problem is if you go master tempo and you're playing 150, or if you're paying, let's say a 75, and you and it says 75, and then it goes to 150, and you hit the master tempo, it just doubles. That's exactly what happened to her. So they were misreading because they were technically matching, but they were halftime. So when she hits master tempo, and then the follower deck was just trying to match it, it screwed up her tracks. She was playing like 212 BPM. It was insane. So
yeah,
I mean, it's sad, but yeah,
some people
she'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah, some people were probably feeling it.
Well, actually, there was a guy in Europe. He did it on purpose, and then he put her screams in. It was like a 10-minute mini set of like 200 BPM tracks. It was actually fire. It was dope.
It started a fire.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite editor right now? You got like someone fresh and new that's killing it.
Honestly, man, there's some. What's his name? There's a couple guys. I'm on the spot. The Armand Avaru, he's been pretty dope. Just good taste in edits, and like he actually's reached out to me to like re-edit some of my stuff, which is the way you're supposed to do it. For people that like to hack up other people's edits, reach out, do a collab, bro. It helps the industry. It's instead of just taking other people's stuff. Sorry, a little rant, but it's as far as like I'm always I'm trying to think. You really got me on the spot right now because Rick Wonder's crushing.
He just won an award, right? Like, for
or up and comer. Yeah, Rick Wonder is excellent because like it's the little stuff. He adds the reverb tails, the things like I like to do. He does it. So like he speaks my language from an engineering standpoint. Like, because like I always say it's like audio Photoshop, right? Because you can massage stuff together a million different ways, but when it really sounds like a mix instead of a bootleg, it sounds like it was originally supposed to be that way. He's really good at doing that. So I got to shout out to him.
Shout out Rick Wonder, 4 AM crew, Chachi.
Fire edits, bro.
DJ Heavy. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Heavy.
Those are the boys right there.
No, I mean, there's a lot of talented dudes out there. And when it comes to consistency, like it's a short list, man. Like there's not a lot of guys that can really keep up with it. Like another one of my favorites is like Nova. Like he's been doing it forever. Orlando Gang. Like I met him in Orlando way back in the day, but he's just got good taste in editing because he's really good with the utilities. He understands utility as a live DJ, and that really translates well with his mixes. DJ Catch, he's one of my favorites because he does amazing acapella in edits. The way he has like a kung fu, the way he makes house edits, and I love his style because it's acapella in, beat out, acapella in, beat out. So it's just this nonstop like mix up, and you don't know how it's like, if you're just a consumer listening, you don't know how it's happening, but the way he just builds these little hype edit ins, and then all of a sudden the beat flips and the bass line changes, it just sounds like this infinite mix. And I love his edits too. So shout out to Catch. I used to DJ with him in China too, so I know him real well. He's an amazing producer. Go out and find DJ Catch's tracks. He's got really good production as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a couple guys off the top of my head.
Nice.
Still blanking out.
I'm a big fan of Eccentric.
Oh yeah.
He's so creative. He's an artist with his mashups. He's like a producer mashup artist.
And
I love
Paul Mond. Like Paul Mond.
Actually, I don't know that name.
He's from Germany, I think.
Really?
He does a lot of flips, and then he plays like guitar over stuff.
Ooh, okay.
Just flips it into like this classical or like Spanish guitar flip. And
see, that's fire. Like when you add live production into music, that's amazing.
Speaking of some of the like live production edits, our No Good Boys have some really good edits where Tanner just like jams a riff on a guitar and then edit. And they made an opera house remix. Like,
really?
How do you
of
mix
Carmen.
opera?
You know that song Carmen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a...
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like a whole new level because we're not getting stuck by technology anymore. Technology is at a point where anything is possible. Like now we've got AI to play with. I mean, how do you think AI is going to change DJing?
Well, we're seeing it with the stems, right?
Well, that's still just an algorithm, but like actual predictive AI programming. Do you think AI is going to take a DJ's job at some point?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, when I get on Spotify and it starts talking to me like it's
That's
my
a little
DJ,
creepy.
I'm not happy
And he has a
about
New
it.
York
You
accent.
can't turn that off for some reason.
Dude, all of my
I don't
baby
like
music
that.
starts playing. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, this is not what I want to listen to right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I don't think that, because as of right now, AI can only create based on what it's inputted. So it has to rely on already existing creativity, our existing content. But at some point, there's going to be a change. Like there's a name for it, but AI is going to start creating its own stuff.
I'm ready. I want AI to take over. I want it to take the job of all the DJs that are taking my job. I'm ready for it to just completely wash away, reset. I'm ready for that. I want to be able to throw my own party where people are looking for a human being to connect with
Yes.
behind the DJ booth. I want all the clubs to use AI. I want them to all die. I'm ready for an
Well,
exodus
AI can't wear a
of
Speedo, bro.
what's happening. But that's just my take. I don't know.
Honestly, like, well, I mean, for example, I mean, AI has significantly already changed production. You know the story about the BBL Drizzy, like how it actually happened?
No.
Okay, so this is crazy. So it didn't start with Metro Boomin. He was just the middleman. So there's this guy on YouTube that uses Suno. I believe it's suno.com. For those of you who don't know, Suno is a songwriting program. It literally makes songs out of nothing but prompts. It's scary. You've seen them all over YouTube now. But so this guy made a song called BBL Drizzy, and it sounds like a Motown guy, like Ike Turner singing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so that was then in turn sampled by Metro Boomin as a soul sample. And then that was then in turn resampled, turned into hard dance, house music, everything. So it's like it was a 3-level sample tier in less than 3 weeks. I mean, think about this though. So Metro Boomin could make a fake soul song that like to fits his production style. He doesn't need to sample songs that actually were written in the Motown era. He can just make a fake song and then make a beat out of it. So it's already significantly changing the implications and possibilities with production.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering how that's going to bleed over into DJing. Because it's honestly, the Suno is one of the scariest programs I've ever seen for music as far as that's concerned.
So what would that look like? Like an AI DJ? Like would it have to have like cameras reading whether people were sitting down, standing up?
It's literally
putting
the Terminator,
their hands
bro.
up?
Like, put your hands up. If not, everyone put their hands up. It zeroed in on that person. What would you like to hear? And it reads their brain and then figures it out and looks at their Spotify playlist and integrates it in with a remix right there on the spot.
But what if that one person that it's looking at reading is like the shithead who you don't even want there in the first place, who you know as the human DJ, and you don't cater to him at all?
So how does an AI deal with the drunk girl DJ requests, with the song requests?
I don't know.
It's going to remix her request.
Just like zaps him in the face. Like,
I need 4 Sambuca. And turns it into a song right there on the spot.
Yeah, could just sample her and make a song.
I mean,
out
it's
of it.
already almost there. There's
embarrass
guys
her.
that can do that. Like, what's that? Mark
Ribier?
Ribier,
So
yeah.
he's
He's great.
put the mic out. He's screaming. He makes a track out of it.
Yeah.
So I know AI can do that eventually.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be live remixes that you had to be there to hear. I think there's some value in that. Like, you know, like you had to
But
be
what
there
are you
experience.
watching as a consumer? What are you fixated on? There's not a human being on stage who you're impressed by their abilities to do something. There's a computer doing things, but what is it displaying to you as a consumer physically? Just like a video? Is it a
It had to be
video of
humanoid.
Like a
somebody?
video.
It's got to be humanoid. It's got to be something.
Is it a robot? Is it hologram Tupac up there?
I mean, it could be. I mean, or, you know, like robotics is getting to a point where you could literally have the face of the artist that you're playing on the humanoid while you're playing the song. Whoa. I need that patent too.
Now, who gets paid off that?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting factor because, you know, the record labels have already anticipating this. So, especially if everything's networked, because like now CDJs are going to be networked. This is the future of MP3s, by the way, too. I mean, you look at like on the new A9, there's a Wi-Fi router antenna right on the back.
Yeah.
So everything's going to be Wi-Fi. I actually met the first DJ that's direct streaming Beatport last week.
That's
so
scary.
that's happening now.
What? I thought that's been happening for a while, where you're just all the
I
songs
actually
you're
saw
playing.
somebody using it. It's been a feature.
Oh,
Like,
you've never seen
I'm
it.
scared to use it
Okay.
because you never know if that's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And what do you
but
do?
he says
you know?
once you load it, it goes into your system.
like a locker.
like a heat locker. Yeah.
And there's also like you get a set amount of songs, 1,000 songs that are like downloaded the way you can download a podcast on Spotify and listen to it on the plane, you know? So it's like on your shit.
Yeah,
for
I mean, it's
use.
there once you-
It's not
once you
actually
download.
there, but even
But-
without internet, you can still access it.
I like my MP3s. on my hard drive.
But that's one of the biggest, I guess, objections right now with record labels in general is they don't know how many play counts they're getting off DJs. And that's why Wi-Fi is finally going to give them a gateway into understanding how popular a song really is.
That's true.
Data is gold.
Well, they're just coming for our money.
Well, it's somebody's money. It's mostly advertiser money. Keep that in mind. Like, you know,
you don't think that at some point we're going to get taxed somehow? Like the club's going to get taxed more or something? I mean, what is the club has to have like a BMI ASCAP license, right?
We already pay all those.
So it doesn't matter
taxes.
how many times you play a song. You're already paying to just play existing songs,
Yeah,
right?
it's based
That's what
off your
that is?
occupancy. Yeah.
So then you have to pay that tax to BMI. So then the artists get their check. So this is going to be the factor is at some point there's going to be an integration back-end plugin. You're going to have to be BMI and ASCAP certified as a DJ, pay your royalties. Then you have to report your playlist monthly to the powers that be so that they can quantify it and know how much money they need to pay out, which, of course, I mean, that's fair. But it's just right now, think about how much data we have on our laptops they can't access. That's a powerful thing because like how many DJs are in the world, and it's like we're a black thinking from the record label standpoint, we're a black hole for data.
Are they not able to access it? Like there's nothing that when I agreed to download Serato, I didn't sign away my human centipede rights like in that South Park episode.
That's a good question. We need a lawyer to check in on this because with the user agreement on Serato, does that report that back end playlist? I wonder.
I would imagine it does. I would imagine Serato is able to see all that shit, and they could do whatever they want with that information.
I mean, they have all our data.
Yeah, I mean that's
history,
very interesting.
Playlist history.
And then how do they break up? Like comes back to my world. If it's a mashup of Mariah Carey versus Jaquan, who's getting paid and how much do they get paid?
Yeah, well,
That's
they
a
can see the
huge
name
problem.
of the song, right? I mean, most songs are labeled like that, right? It's got both the artists in there if it's a mashup
For the most part,
or something.
yeah. I mean, but what if it's like a multiple mashup? Like I've integrated 6 or 7 artists into one edit. That's a tough pie to cut up.
How many songs can be mashed together in one track for you to play as a DJ before you're just playing a pre-recorded set? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder, I see some DJs that play one song and it's like a transition of 7 different songs.
Didn't they used to do that back in the early 2010s? The Panda. What were those?
Fun? You're our resident Panda
even like
expert.
the funky mixes. A lot of times the funky mixes and the ultra mixes would have multiple ingredients integrated into a track. Like a Missy Elliott would have like a throwback artist that had a wordplay on it, and it'd be like 3 or 4 artists on one integration. So they must have figured that out early on.
So how many transitions can you do in one record before it's considered? You're no longer playing somebody's edit. You're just playing a part of their mix. Like, I mean, when I first started DJing out and like going out and watching DJs and I'm learning what's happening and I'm trying to take it in and everything, I remember specifically Girl Talk was super popular. And my boy was like, I will never play one of those songs because it's fake. I'm up here faking the funk. Like, I don't feel right about it because there's too much happening that's supposed to be what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I that kind of stuck with me a little bit.
I think with EDM it's more passable because I have like cluster mixes that go through like 2 drops and then 2 breakdowns in a 4-minute set. And I could just consider like a mini mix. And it's something that, like I would definitely not, when you're playing EDM, sometimes you just want to do other things like get on the mic, do other things that allows you to do that.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, even festival, like a lot of that's a secret weapon. A lot of festival guys use like sort of secret sauce. They have batch mixes where a lot of these guys that don't know how to actually mix or mix very well, and especially if you're like, let's say you're like Calvin Harris in front of 50,000 people, you're not worried about technicality. You just want to have a good polished show. And this is my biggest argument with like a lot of DJ purists. Is like until you're actually on stage and the sun is beating down on your lights are so chaotic, you can't be a technical DJ on a festival stage on a large magnitude.
Don't tell James Hype that.
Well, I mean, to retort, he actually walked off a Brazil stage because there's so much fog he couldn't see what he was doing. He's like, I can't do this.
Oh, wow.
So he'll quit. So like James Hype is one of my all-time favorite DJs, but when you're that technical, you're forced into only certain environments as as a technical writer or requirements or things that now he can't do certain parties because of his requirements from a technical standpoint and skill standpoint.
And from a sound standpoint as well, when you're on a big stage and you're playing out in the open air, sound travels differently, and it's really hard to hear.
Oh, the timing
transition.
Oh, yeah. He wears in-ears. That's why he can isolate himself from the environment. But like when you can't see what you're doing, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many variables on a festival stage. So one of the things, I guess I trailed off, but one things that a lot of festival guys do is they just make slam edits. So they air out one edit and then they drop a big boom on the next one, and there's like a filter in with the melody. You hear that a lot, where like a big filter comes in, new song comes in. It's the easiest way. So you're not actually counting the beats with your headphones. You can stay engaged with the crowd because that's what you're actually there to do, to really look at your crowd, make sure they're loving every minute of it, because it's all about your body language, and you can't be doing that if you're. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
So the visual factor is so important. So when you can just go 1, 2, drop on a new single, that to me is I think the happy medium for a big festival stage.
That makes a lot of sense. I played recently, actually, like a 9,000 person outdoor. There's this big Night Nation run charity thing. And it is a different style of DJing. Like I went up there and I'm like, I'm just gonna DJ how I know how to DJ. But it's not that. It's you can't nightclub DJ. You can't nightclub DJ on a festival stage.
No.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe you can put some flair in there here and there. But you can't. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different.
It's like
world.
how bad was the resonance of the bass on your stage, which is like the baseboards are vibrating. You can't hear what you're doing, and you're hearing extra tones and things that you would never hear in a club.
And you also need to look like you
have
to be
like
up there, doing a thing. Yeah.
So it really, for me, I'd rather see that than a technical DJ on a stage, because like I want them to be happy, having fun, engaging the crowd, talking on the mic. That's what I want to see if I was a talent booker on a festival stage, personally. I mean, there's a million ways to interpret it, but that's just me. Now that I've been on both sides of the table, I think that's the smartest way to do it, because you don't want to have a mess up in front of that many people either. So and
that's a fun topic. What's the biggest mess up you've recovered from?
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind was like the College World Series last year, where it was kind of like a technical mess up that was caught early, but it forced me into an uncomfortable position where I had my MacBook 2015 RIP. So that was the last gig I ever had, and it was sputtering. So the USB
from the heat.
Well, no, it was I think it was maybe a combination of the heat, but I think the USBs were just worn out. There were just so many in and outs, and they just the board. One side was already burned, the other side was getting burned. So my songs were starting, and then every 10 seconds there'd be a 3-second pause. It was inexcusable. Couldn't play. So I had to take my entire set, raw MP3s with no record box analyzation, put it on a USB, and mix them like they were vinyls. I had no cue points, nothing.
While you're
and I had
performing?
To get, the whole set was, well, no, this was like a couple hours beforehand.
Oh,
so
okay.
But I had to.
So you like sound checked and like found this issue.
A complete failure of a sound check.
Got you.
It was like the worst sound check I ever had, because I just technically couldn't rely on my computer anymore. So I had to take every song I think I was going to play. I made 3 folders, 70, 100, 128, and I had 3 zones, and I had to play for 4 hours like that. In front of, I don't even know how, it was like 9,000 to 15,000 people. It was a Saturday night after the College World Series semifinals. So I got everybody staring at me because I'm the only entertainment the whole night. There's no band. It's just me for 4 hours. And I had to get through that. And that was the most, it was like, I guess the best way I can explain it is, you're in an airplane. Somebody throws the parachute out. Go get it. Go get your parachute. And that USB was my parachute, and I got through it, but it was frightening. And I did have a couple screw ups where you think it's a long edit, it's a short, and you're running out of song, so you have like 16 bars of just boom, boom, boom.
Oh, the ticking time bomb.
Yeah. So then I'm talking on the mic to cover it, like it's a radio break. Yeah. So if I didn't have a microphone, I'd be even worse off. But yeah, that's the most one of recent memory, at least.
What about you?
I mean, I just dropped my laptop off of like a high ledge a couple weeks ago and shattered the entire screen.
Set?
as I'm going on. I put my USB in. I'm mixing my song in. I had taken my laptop out, put it up there to get ready. I'm mixing this song in, and the bass shook it off, and it falls. And honestly, my first thought was like, I'm fine, because I've had a laptop fall from a really high point before, and it was fine. So my first thought initially, I was like, it's like shit, you know, and I grabbed it and I picked it up, and the entire screen is just shattered. No shot I'm going to be able to use it. And I just had to mix off of this one stick I had. And luckily, the girl who was on before me threw 400 songs on a stick for me and just gave it to me. So I had my stick of music that didn't really match the room and her stick of music that I didn't know. And I was just like, all right, here we are. Let's make it happen.
That can be a fun set sometimes.
It was fun because you just accept it. You're like, this is it. This is what it is. And there was a very nice, a calming aspect to saying, like, these are the songs I have, and I have to make it work.
It's like Iron Chef.
I didn't have the option. Yeah, I didn't have the option on my laptop where sometimes I'm like, what should I play? I could play this. Oh, but then I could play this. But what about this? And there's so many options where you don't even know what to do.
So that's sort of a simulation that we like to do at the school sometimes here. Sometimes we'll be like, I'll just be like, all right, troubleshooting exercise, and I'll go and like flick a knob or unplug something and be like, you got to figure it out. Everyone's waiting for you. Ooh. We also have a simulation where we have a spinning wheel that has genres, and whatever the wheel lands on, that's what genre you have to transition into next.
That's great.
Yo, you need to do that, but you need to have like you need to turn the lights off so it's dark, have like flashing lights, smoke machine going. You need to have like gunshots ringing. You need to like put them under such high stress and be like, all right, figure it out. Yeah, like people screaming at them.
Just
you need like a
gunshots.
audio simulation of just mayhem.
Their text messages going off from the owner pissed.
That would be fire. That would be the most fire DJ school ever.
What do y'all think about that exercise? That'd be a fun one.
God.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, when you're at the shooting range, like I don't shoot a lot, but when I go to the shooting range and you're trying to put bullets into the clip and there's just guns going off all around you, and I'm just like, it's the most insane mayhem. I'm like, fuck, and like trying to shove them in there. Like, that's what it needs to be. High stress.
I think that's trauma school, not DJ school. I'm just, but you know, it actually explains why DJs are the way they are. The things that we've gone through, especially the longer you're a DJ, the more cynical you get because you've been through so many crazy things in your life. Like, there's like if you think about it, we're group psychologists, and then we absorb all that energy. We are the sponges for all that, because like I've heard you talk about this on other podcasts. Like, your job is to make them forget about their bad days, remember their good days, and everything in between. People are always going to go out and celebrate whether it's a good day or not, and we're there to bear that burden, the highs and the lows. We absorb every ounce of that energy, positive and negative, and then we wonder why we are the way we are.
Yeah,
DJs are a certain breed. We start out as regular people. We turn into DJs.
You do have to just put aside all of you have to put aside all of whatever's going on in your life and say, none of that matters right now. For the next 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, I have to give these people the best time ever. And it's not like, I don't say that like we're fucking therapists and I'm doing it for them and like trying to take care of them. Obviously, I'm doing it for me. I want to be the best performer and DJ that I could possibly be.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be, you know, I want them to be like, damn, you fucking ripped it.
Well, involuntary, I think you are a therapist. You know, especially when things go really well. People will come up to you, I'm sure, and say, hey, like, I thank you so much for tonight. It means a lot. Just a simple thank you, that means you were therapy.
Yeah,
to some degree.
Like a thank you with $100 is fire, too.
Yeah, absolutely. that feels good all the way around.
The best tips are when they don't ask for a song. They're just like, hey, man, here you go.
That's even better. That's
like,
the best thank you.
Thank you for making me have a good night.
Yeah. Then just walk away.
Like,
you're like, wait, what?
Song do you want? Oh, you don't want a song?
Oh, no strings attached tips are the best.
There was one night at Bottle Blonde where Fawn was filling in for Dolo, and it was just me and him playing. And there was this dude that was just dropping hundreds onto the mixer at a time, like 5 at a time, 100. We got like $2,500 from that guy. And the best part of the story is he went to jail like a month later for some crypto like scheming shit. You know, he was one of those guys. It was awesome.
Man. Hey, you got some though.
I'll take it, baby. I'm in.
That's great. What's the weirdest song you actually willingly played only because you got a tip of substantial amount?
Definitely something Indian that I probably couldn't even pronounce.
Okay. I still remember mine was, what's yours?
The circus song.
Oh, the actual just straight up? Like
Straight up.
Barnum Bailey?
Someone
they-
paid you to play that, or the club wanted you to play it for a presentation?
It wasn't a club, but they had a money machine at this party, and they were like, play the circus theme song for the money machine.
Wow.
And I was like, do I get some of the money in the money machine? They're like, yes. I'm like, all
Hey,
right.
that's good then. No, mine was a combo where he set me up for failure, but I still took it. It was at a club called Dolce in Orlando, and he put $100 down on my turntable. He was like, "I want to hear Billie Jean." Put another $100 down. He's like, "Then I want to hear Billie Jean again." He's like, "And don't cut it. I want to hear the full song twice." And he's like, "And $300. I want to hear Duffel Bag Boy by Lil Wayne and Titty Boy." I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's like, "If you're not gonna do it, I'm gonna take the money back." I'm like, I want that money. So I did it. I just buried myself. There was only like 100 people in the club anyway, so it didn't matter.
Billie Jean's a duffel bag boy.
Twice. Billie Jean doubled up. 8 minutes of Billie Jean, bro.
Billie Jean's
It was awful. That was the worst part about it. And then I just had to somehow go into
make it an edit. Billie Jean to-
it was awful. It was the worst thing I ever did for a tip as just a professional DJ on a stage. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
8 minutes of Billie Jean will definitely reset the room. That's for sure. That's
Especially
a
at like 2
saltine
o'clock in the
cracker.
morning.
Yeah.
It's not a reset. You just evacuate the room. That's what that did. It was half empty by the time I was done with that. It was just debacle.
I remember the first time I ever learned the concept of resetting the room was on a New Year's Eve in Chicago. There's late night spots, so like most of the spots close at 2. Some of them stay open till 4. Saturdays they close at 3. Late night spots stay open till 5. And it was New Year's, so it always dies out a little early. You know, I finish my first gig, I go to the second gig at the late night spot. I'm getting on to close out, and the dude who's on before me, who was like my mentor, essentially architect, he's like, "I'm gonna reset the room for you real quick."
Oh man.
And he put the New Year's countdown back on at like 3 a.m. And it really did reset the room. It like charged the people back
What?
up. They just
Oh,
redid
it
the countdown.
positively
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, I was shocked. And
That's
I was like,
well,
okay,
hey.
I see what you're doing here. It's
He-
like
he gave you your own ball drop.
it's the things that like you would laugh with your boy about in the booth that do the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
That's
fucking with
wild.
them a little
I've
bit.
never seen that done before.
Yeah.
Man,
it
that's
was
cool.
good.
And now you're gonna try it.
Nah, I'm gonna
Next-
try it. It's probably not gonna work. My luck. He'll be like, "What the fuck's going on, bro?" Like, oh, I did that on accident once. I played a Happy New Year's edit in July. It's like clicked on the wrong one. Happy New Year, and it's July. It was the worst. I wanted to crawl in a hole.
Yeah, that's bad.
Maybe that
That's pretty
qualifies
bad.
as one of the biggest fuck ups I ever did as a DJ. That was so bad.
Yeah.
There's no way to escape it either.
I like that. Should we wrap it? We got people pouring in here.
Yeah, we
We're
got
getting
the
ready to
post
party.
pod after party.
Post pod after party, pre-mix signals, pre-game.
Let's do it.
And I just a shout out to you, man. Like, you know, I know podcasting has a lot of effort that's involved behind it, and you've been really consistent for a really long time. So I just want to thank you for, you know, having me on the platform you're working so hard on. Obviously, you know, it's a pleasure to be here with the Sound Dojo as well, and just be here in Houston. So thanks for having me on the show, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for editing and posting on Club Killers. I don't know if anyone knows, but this is the man who's responsible for growing their page, social media expert, DJ
Yeah,
DeVille.
that's also my little. I'm a meme lord now. I make DJ memes.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
I have a lot of fun doing that. So hit up at clubkillers.com or just at clubkillers on Instagram to check out my memes.
Where you're gonna be this weekend?
Oh, so okay, so it's I can't remember the days. You put me on the
got you,
spot.
bro.
Yeah,
We got
you
DJ
tell me.
DeVille tomorrow night.
Voodoo
in
Hut.
Pima, and then
Yes.
Saturday night at Unicorn Disco here.
Unicorn Disco here in Houston. So
yes, sir.
it's this guy's. You know, he's brought me out here a bunch of times. It's always a pleasure to be in Houston. So I'm just Texas. I love Texas.
Yeah.
So it's great to be out here.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, man.
brother.
So great talking with you guys.
If
today.
you want to take DJ lessons, we got our next course starting
Sound
up in
Dojo.
June. We got July. We're going to bring out a Spanish only class for you
What's the website?
Latinos. We are sounddojo.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
Any security guards that need DJ lessons, this is the spot.
Hey.
We turn security guards into DJs.
Yes.
Let's go, champ. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, drop a little comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Algorithm activating activity. We'll see you next time. Enjoy.
Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.